Now, Kenyans will Wednesday 11th May know who will be Raila Odinga's running mate. According to the selection panel, they were looking beyond what one brings to the table in terms of numbers. This even as it turns out that a phone call by President Uhuru Kenyatta to Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka changed his mind, overturning his earlier decision of non-appearance. NTV's senior political affairs reporter Kennedy Muredi with details on that story.
Act for the selection panel tasked with the duty of coming up with Raila Odinga's running mate, as they now retreat to write a report and present it to the appointing authority Wednesday morning. Speaking to the press this evening after their two-day-long interviews, the panel acknowledged the heavy task ahead of them, noting each of the politicians appearing before them for the interview is qualified to deputize Raila.
Everybody was so enthusiastic. In fact, my committee members were surprised, the enthusiasm with which we had discussions. Even some of you might have thought that some people are not keen to come, but we didn't see any sign of that.
According to the chairperson of the panel, there were a number of parameters they were engaging the interviewees on that included examining the relationship between those who appeared before them and the Azimio One Kenya presidential candidate.
We looked for character, we looked for their CV, we looked at their experiences both in government and the private sector, their passion, their ability to mobilize votes.
NTV has also learned that there is stiff competition from candidates, especially those from the same region, and those that come from the same party. As a point of consideration, those that come from the same political party as Raila Odinga, that is ODM, may be disqualified to cater for the interest of other political parties that make up the Azimio One Kenya outfit.
Our secretariat will meet here at 9 o'clock tomorrow to pick the top three, who will then be a report to the party leader.
To this end, Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho and Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya may not be considered.
It is my right to want to run for any position. So if I come from ODM, therefore, what does that mean? That I shouldn't run? I have ambitions of becoming president, therefore there's an opportunity for running mate Nico Apo.
Consequently, the question of who brings in the most votes and the region they come from has been termed as a major consideration, with the women leaders who appeared before the panel. That is Kitui Governor Charity Ngilu, Murang'a Women Representative Sabina Chege, and NAK Kenya leader Martha Karua, hoping the gender card will work to their advantage.
I have to bring the women together, which I can do, and it's a vote that has not been captured as yet. The youth vote seems to be going the other side, but the women vote, they're still waiting to see and to hear what we are telling them is going to happen.
Out of the 10 candidates interviewed for the position, 5 were from Mount Kenya, where they believe their choice will go a long way in convincing the vote-rich region to rally behind them and ensure an Odinga presidency.
Given that there is no presidential candidate from Mount Kenya, if a running mate comes from there, it will add a lot of value to the possibility of winning the election.
It is important to realize that Mount Kenya is a vote-rich area. It is also important that the opposition has had a field day in Mount Kenya, but it is also important to accept that the Azimio candidate is on an upward trajectory in Mount Kenya area.
Former Kenyan ambassador to Australia Stephen Tarus represented the Rift Valley region after KANU chairperson Gideon Moi withdrew from the process and threw his weight behind Kalonzo Musyoka.
With the candidature of Raila Amolo Odinga, he needs a fresh blood. He needs fresh minds. He needs people who truly want to create a unified country.
If I don't get, I wait for another day. I don't think I am in the team that wants to bring down the house. You want to get a position. If you don't get, you want to demolish the house so that nobody gets. I don't think that is a winning spirit.
For Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, one of the front runners for the position, it took the intervention of President Uhuru Kenyatta to prevail upon him to attend the engagement, as he noted he stood to be locked out of the process for not attending the interviews.
That the decision to come was my decision because I realized we didn't want to give anybody an excuse whatsoever to say, aligomea kuja. So I'm here, and I can tell you it has been a wonderful conversation.
Kalonzo and his allies had vowed to stay away from the engagement, insisting it was demeaning to his stature.
And I want to ask that all my supporters who had given me their interview, even the conclusions of those interviews, were carried forward.
Apart from the general considerations on paper, there are other considerations that the committee will look into when they meet Wednesday morning, such as the political implications of the candidates and what they stand to bring on the table, like if the candidate comes from the same party as the presidential candidate, and also those that have competing interests from the regions they come from.